Our next speaker will be talking about getting to know sales reporting, sales team performance management. So you might have a sales team, they might have KPIs, but how to manage it in the next level. So Aldis, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm sharing my screen. I hope it's visible.
Yes, now it's great, launching it live, and we see and hear you. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you again. And yeah, I watched the previous presentation. I think it was very good to understand what kind of sales KPIs and metrics to use, and some of them are very related to team performance, because sales team performance really relates. Sales team performance actually is very related to different behavior and activity that sales team is doing, sales team members are doing. And there I suggest to look at the book, The Power of Sales Analytics. I think it's one of the possible readings to understand more about sales analytics. And there is a company, and you see the author is of his Latvian name, Andris Zoltners, and he is one of the experts, leading experts in sales analytics. He's living and working in North America. And I just borrowed 7 points from his book to understand that how to think about Salesforce effectiveness analytics. And again, I prepared this presentation to more keeping in mind or thinking about how it could help you to create better sales support for this contest. Of course, it probably will help you creating sales reports in your organization and your future organization. But mainly, I'm trying to give you some insights how you could, what you could include in your report you are going to submit for this contest, and how to present your most interesting idea and win. That I'm looking to that perspective. So if we look at these points, these are things that you need to consider to include your report. First is like measure customer potential, and that's very interesting measure. So interesting field. So it means that to understand what is the potential of all your customers, of all clients, and if you divide it by sales team members, you will get a very interesting picture, and you could link it with activity. Then enhancing the sales process, other metrics, sizing the structuring the sales force, designing sales territories, shaping people and the sales force, setting motivating sales force goals. Again, different metrics. Usually, if you look at the sixth point, usually these metrics are related to how we perform, to individual activity. How we I experienced metrics like unusual metrics, like how good I am with filling out CRM, for example, and managing Salesforce performance. And it looks quite generic, and you could say that, yeah, as ideas, it maybe looks good, but how we could get to some more specific figures or more specific ideas and KPIs. And there are another schema that probably you could use to explain your sales report. And there is 3 main cornerstones. There is a account potential, there is effort, and there is a results. So that is a triangle that you need to include to explain your report. So as usual, you will have some sales potential there for existing accounts, for the new accounts, and etc. And then your sales team is spending some effort, putting some effort. So they are spending time, they are spending effort, they're writing number of proposals, number of meetings doing, and you need to show in your report this effort. So and you need to show that actually for which potential or size of potential, what kind of effort you have and it will be very interesting when we will show this on individual level, because you will see that how the effort is how effort differs, and then you can link this effort with the results. So closed deals, meetings, and so on. So and using this triangle, you could build any kind of sales report and successful. But even more interesting, if we talk about where to get these ideas for KPI, interesting KPIs. So one of the sources I used for years for different kind of KPIs, and it will help you not just for sales KPIs, but for different kind, finance, HR, supply chain, and so on. There's a site called kpilibrary.com. Let's look at it. And it's for free, so you could register to KPI library site, and you can see that there you have all type of KPIs, like by industry, by process. If you want some process, we will look at sales and marketing a little bit later. So by framework, if it's project management or it's some value management or different type of frameworks that are used, or ITIL framework for IT process management, and you could choose this different KPIs, and you see in parentheses, you see also the number of KPIs. Let's look at sales and marketing KPIs, how it looks. And we have the account management, you see, advertisement, brand, business development, and sales itself. Let's click on sales, 164 KPIs. And now you have a list of KPIs. So what you could see the KPI, you see the explanation. Sometimes you see some additional explanation or formula if there is need for formula, like calculation, how it's calculated. So attrition or churn, different kind of metrics. So you could find so many, almost all possible KPIs here. And the true about KPIs actually, and this metrics for sales team performance, is that there's infinite set of them. It means that even working for a long time in sales, you will not know and will not use all the metrics, or you will use some of them, and always there will be new metrics because of new data coming into, or new data is used, and there's new metrics available. So this is a nice source where to get inspiration for the different metrics that you could get, and look at them, and you could choose them before you create your report, or what to create your report. You could look at them and build your story, because understanding this, putting these metrics together, you could build explanation of your process. Great. Yeah, so this is really nice source, and it's free. I use it for 10 years or so it's still free. And of course, as I showed yesterday, there are some processes built, like Microsoft Solution Sales Process, where if you look at checkpoints and key steps, these are measures for sales performance. So you could measure individual sales performance by understanding how the steps are made, and how they are performing for each step, how many success for each step. Another thing that is also used for individual and sales team performance management is segmentation. And as we discussed, segmentation there are two purpose segmentation: cost reduction and marketing. And if we look at the sales segmentation, we need to understand that the actually segmentation hierarchy, or how we what kind of factors we use to do the segmentation. It's usually region, business model, activity, size of the company, and some additional, maybe sales manager, by event, by marketing program. So there's the segmentation usually is very dynamic. And if you look at the modern CRM tools, you will see that in these tools, the segmentation actually is very dynamic. So you could create this segmentation by different factors, and that is what we see usually. Also, what we need to see in sales support, actually, how good our team members or sales team is on different segments, performing in different segments. Like maybe we are working very good with large clients, but not performing with middle or small clients. And talking about what's very new in sales team performance and what kind of new KPIs and data is used, uh, there is something like communication analysis. And in communication analysis, there is a nice article from Harvard Business Review published by Microsoft about what they analyze these sales teams. And the questions, they always are questions. And maybe 5 or 10 years ago, we didn't ask them that questions for on sales team level. But now we are asking it, because even now, when we are doing most of the job remotely in this distant world, and we will probably, for some industries, we will stay for a long time at home. So it's more measurable. It's become more and more measurable. So we could understand how we're spending, where we're spending time better than ever before. So they ask it the questions: where we're spending the most time, how the actually time is splitted, and how this spent time is linked with the results. And what they get that actually, if you spend enough time, there is some threshold, if you spend more than 20 hours with particular clients per month, so you are like making calls with them, doing updates, being in touch with their clients, and for each client it's a different time, of course, but there is some threshold. If you spend more than 20 hours per month, these clients feel more engaged with the company, more feel cared, and they buy more. Actually, engaged customers, engaged clients buy more. And one of the ways how to do that, it's using communication analysis. And let's look how we can do it with Power BI, because if you ask what we can do with Power BI, in Power BI, we have a very nice visual. It's called Network Navigator. I will show you where to get it. And with this Network Navigator, you could build a network diagram. So you can visually look at the network connections. Yeah, you see there's a couple of them. What you could use for network diagram, but I'm using currently this one, this network diagram, Power BI usual by Microsoft. And here I have a data about connections, and you see that this one is on the organizational level. Each dot is a person here, but each dot could be a company. And you see that only what we need to provide is a source. It means a person, like, and target node is from to whom communication is going on. So not much data is needed. And then you could put some coloring on top of it. Maybe its coloring is a groups or clients and different partners and so on. And this is one view, which is organizational view more. And if we look at the view of all the communication we have, and we see this. You see that a lot of lines, connecting lines. So we can see the larger and real communications graphs. It's not how the communication is done across organizational structure, but we can see the all individual communication. And this, for example, this data extracted from Microsoft Outlook, from the calendar information about meetings and emails, and just information about from and to email. It means not some sensitive information about what was discussed, but only information about communication fact. And then you could see that actually how the communication with some clients at this here we have a client organizations. We could see how close this communication is done. We could even filter something out, for example, or we can put different metrics. For example, we could put resources on top of it. We could show maybe results on top of it, actually where the most of the sales is done, where the most of the closed deals and so on, or cost-wide. We could analyze cost-wide this. So different metrics we could use on top of it, and that is actually what could be used to understand. For example, here with the gray we have the less intense communication, so we could understand actually which are the parts of our organization or our communication with clients which is actually not very reachable. So, and that is what you could interactively show in Power BI. Okay. Yeah, that's it from my presentation. So I will put on this slide. I'm ready to answer your questions.
Okay, thank you, Aldis. Yes, for all the attendees who joined Aldis talk, which was the first one for today for you, this is a live session. This is not recorded, so you can use the Q&A live and ask questions. Meanwhile, what caught my attention was that engaged customers buy more. There are many salespersons who stop following up and release the clients away from the funnel. But I wanted to ask you, and there's also the saying that once you find out that the horse that you're riding on is dead, then stop and get off. And where is the balance? And can you calculate that yes, engaged customers buy more, but maybe some of them are not worth your time?
Yeah, analytics could help for that. And again, especially segmentation, I think. As I showed, you need to have a metrics about the clients and usually when you have segmentation, and if this client is, as you maybe it's not an active client, so because of segmentation, we'll put maybe on slide the idea how it works. So imagine that you have a segmentation, like 5 segments, and you have
just a second. I'm putting you the screen live. Just a second.
And
yeah.
Usually the segmentation is very the same. You have a key customers, those who may make everything for you, so large one. Then you have large and active. Then you have the medium and active, and then inactive of different size, and then rest, like others. So, and every time you work with a client, you need to dynamically put them in right bucket. So you as a sales manager or the sales lead main responsibility is find a way how use analytical approach to put client in right bucket, because you need to define what means active. It's buying once a week, once a month, once a quarter. And if they don't buy 2 weeks in a row, it means that we will move to different bucket, because for each of the buckets, you have a list of services. For example, if it's in key customer bucket, you will send him birthday greeting, you will give him free delivery, and etc. And for each bucket, there are the services you provide, usually for free or for discounted amount. So, and if you put it in the right bucket, it will be treated always right. So if you have the inactive client in large and active bucket, and you're thinking it's a dead horse, as you mentioned, yeah, that it's not anything wrong with how balance, but with your analytical system and segmentation.
Okay, thank you. More questions coming in. Can we see the Excel for the network? Thanks.
Yep. I will show the. I will show. Sorry. It actually it's simple Excel. I will show you. I will show you how it looks. It looks like parent. And some parameters. So here is a from, like A to B, A to C, and so on. And from this kind of data, you will be able to create. And this, you could use this measure for coloring, for example. That's it. But you could, the simplest network chart you will create just from 2 columns.
From 2 columns, you made that spider.
Yes.
Okay, that is great.
Because you see here, I have just, if I take out all the coloring measures, there is only 2 columns: source node, person, and target node, parent. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, next one, and I won't switch my camera for this. For communication, you showed to have used Outlook data. Can you please tell how you imported Outlook file into Power BI?
I just did an export from Outlook and then created the Excel file. I converted it into Excel with these 2 columns. But for example, from Outlook, there is a nice export. So in Outlook, you could find that you could export your calendar information, for example, and it will be in a tabular way. So it's quite easy to do. Or if you want to export, so you could export your calendar. It's easy to. There's even special report view for calendar export.
Oh, okay. Now then the persons know. Okay, currently we don't have any more questions. Thank you for the presentation and the demo, Aldis.
Thank you.